Bulbul Art is a project dedicated to artists Kiron Sinha and Gertrude Sinha Hirsch. For many years, we've been researching their lives, cataloguing their work and sharing their story. Kiron and Gertrude's story is inseparable from that of Gertrude's brother Leo Hirsch, who escaped fascist Europe in 1939 and rebuilt his life in Adelaide. Even in hardship, he found ways to support his sister in India through the art of connection. Gallery Flaneur is Adelaide's tiniest gallery. It offers a small space with a big spirit. Its size invites us in close. So let's step into a story stretching from Austria to Australia and India and into lives shaped by art, exile and family. Born in 1910 and 11 in Vienna, Leo and Gertrude grew up in a secular Jewish family of modest means but with a rich cultural life. Gertrude showed artistic skill from a young age and pursued a diploma in fine art, graduating with merit. On the strength of her diploma, Gertrude was offered a teaching position in Madras, now called Chennai. She travelled there by boat, arriving early in 1937. Madras had a thriving arts community, and Gertrude quickly became part of it. There she met Bengali artist Kiron Sinha, an extraordinary painter and sculptor shaped by Tagore's Shantiniketan. The two fell in love and married in 1939. With her credentials and skill, Gertrude secured steady teaching work across India, and her income, along with Leo's support, enabled Kiron to work full-time as an artist. Meanwhile, Leo realised that Europe was no longer safe. He obtained a visa to England and then on to Australia, arriving in Adelaide in March 1939. Leo and Gertrude tried to get their parents out of Vienna and to safety. It was wartime, money was scarce and communications difficult. The siblings almost succeeded, but their efforts were thwarted and their parents became victims of the Holocaust. Kiron and Gertrude built their creative lives under immense pressure. Materials were scarce, money was tight, distances were vast. But Leo refused to let geography or politics sever their connection. He sent pigments, brushes, paper, food parcels, whatever he could manage. Not because he had plenty, but because he had purpose. This hand-drawn postcard is from Kiron to Leo, thanking him for sending art supplies and worrying about the fate of his in-laws. Kiron was a prolific artist, painting plein air, as in this photo taken in the forest in Assam, as well as in his studio. In 1945, Kiron and Gertrude's only child, Kamana, was born. Later she was nicknamed Bulbul because of her beautiful singing voice. The family settled in the cultural centre of India, Shantiniketan in West Bengal. It became their base, and although they continued to work and travel across India, they always returned to their home, which they called Studio Bulbul. In 1949, Gertrude was appointed industrial artist with the Assamese government in Shillong. During this period, Kiron developed his woodcarving expertise, and together they designed many woodblocks based on folk art traditions. Gertrude printed these on textiles. The pieces were highly sought after and were even commissioned by Indira Gandhi. With the assistance of the Contemporary Art Society, Leo brought some of Kiron's paintings to Adelaide in 1952. The works were exhibited in Adelaide and Sydney and were greeted with acclaim. In 1963, Leo brought Gertrude and 17-year-old Bulbul to Adelaide, along with many artworks. He helped organise exhibitions in Adelaide, Melbourne, Sydney and Launceston, where the works attracted considerable interest. There was also time for family outings, and Bulbul and her cousin Robert finally met in person. These few months were the only time that Gertrude and Leo would see each other in person again. Sadly, Bulbul died in a tragic accident in 1972, aged 26. Leo and Gerda were a couple before leaving Vienna, but felt the future was too uncertain to marry. Whilst Leo migrated to Adelaide, Gerda spent the war years in London. Despite 8.5 years of separation, their relationship thrived, and Gerda came to Australia in 1946, marrying Leo 3 days after her arrival. Gerda was central to Leo's support of his sister, helping maintain family ties when so much had been lost. In 1988, Leo and Gerda's son Robert travelled to India to visit his aunt and uncle. He was thrilled to be immersed in their work, to hear about it from the artists and to record their stories.
And this painting I have dedicated to Leo Garda and Robert. These wonderful colors he was constantly sending. Without that I could not express, I to need materials to express my feeling and such thing. There's sort of modest way of my feeling of gratefulness.
Unfortunately, Robert's ill health prevented him from returning to India, and sadly Leo died suddenly in 1993. Robert's wife Verna and their daughter Lily started Bulbul Art in 2007, continuing the family's artistic legacy. This installation reminds us that support for art is also support for survival, culture and hope. It's the art of connection.